Welcome to the Popcorn Junkies. Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. The second trailer's landed, team. This is the second film in the more recent reboot, but it's the fifth film in the Mad Max franchise. But it's the second film in the more recent reboot of that franchise. The previous film was so good, with Charlize Theron, Tom Hardy. By all accounts, there was all sorts of fracas on set. They say that cuddly, lovely, jubbly-wubbly Tom Hardy was a little bit tricksy-wixy, but then maybe Charlize Theron was a little bit tricksy-wixy too. Nicholas Hoult was in there, and I have to say, when I saw it, I've been trying to press this point to everyone I know. It was a superior action picture. I found Tom Hardy's accent and voice a bit weird, but then I find his voice choices in nearly every part that he plays are particularly strange. The look, the shots, the real action, I seem to remember that was one of my concerns with the first trailer on this, Furiosa and Mad Max Saga, was that too much of it looked CGI and not real. And so one of the things that I really liked about that first film was the authenticity, the granular, sandy, duney kind of reality and mess and muck and madness. I think the thing about Mad Max that really captured my imagination when I was young, and I wasn't a huge fan of all the films, but I did see the first one, I remember being quite haunted. It kind of reminded me of the characters in Escape from LA, was it Escape from New York? Those John Carpenter films, in which the crazy lunatic kind of mob, the lunatic kind of rogue individuals that are psychotic with crazy hair and tattoos on their nose and just madness. There was a sort of insanity and an unbridled kind of violence that just seemed so animalistic and barbaric. I was like, we've got no way of rationalising with these people. Well, I think that's one of the kind of successful parts of the Mad Max series. But also, I have to say, I thought the last film was seriously stylish, seriously slick, though there were a few beats in performances which weren't quite so convincing. So this is the follow-up to that. It stars Anya Taylor-Joy. She is the young Furiosa. It also stars Chris Hemsworth, obviously Australian. The whole kind of franchise hails from the sort of outback of Australia, and there is that kind of crazy Aussie kind of outbacky, kangaroo-y kind of woo sort of weirdness about it all. Tom Burke's in there too, cracking sort of quality class actor. So I think this is going to be interesting. I think this is going to be good. I have to say, the thing I'm looking out for in this second trailer is, what I'm hoping for is that we don't see as much of that very almost Zack Snyder-esque, that film 300, was that Zack Snyder? Sort of, plastic CGI, which is clearly CGI. I want to see sort of real live action stunts and events and occurrences. So on that note, let's check this out. Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. Bring it on!
Furiosa! We've come too far. Furiosa! They took Furiosa!
Good beginning.
As a child, my world was forever changed. My mother was magnificent. And he took it all from me.
Cool.
Who do we have here?
She's from a place of abundance. This is our destiny.
My childhood. My mother. I want them back. I want them back! Whatever you have to do.
However long it takes. Promise you'll find your way home. Protect the green place.
It's time to take what's rightfully ours! Ready? Steady!
Tom Burke.
Go! Where are you going? So full of hope! There is no hope!
If you find him, he's mine.
always be war, but to get home, Furiosa fought the world.
Remember me.
Where you going in such a hurry? Well, there's a lot going on there, isn't there? I mean, it's so lovely opening with the red apple, Garden of Eden. She comes from a place of abundance and possibility and fruitfulness. And then we get into the barren landscape that we're so used to. She picks the apple, getting a bit of kind of, sort of Victorian steampunk with the masks of the people in the wood. I quite like that green. It was unexpected, wasn't it? Red and green. That was a shocker. And then we've got to Anya Taylor-Joy, head hovering incredibly close to is it the carburetor or the exhaust? I liked the blue nighttime shot with the titles over the top. I thought that was kind of magical. I like the colour palette. The colour palette was good, but, and I have got a huge but, it does feel like it falls foul of the very thing the first trailer did, where an awful lot of the action is happening in a computer animator's studio. Right down to, they've also, I don't know if you think that you agree, they've kind of done this strange thing where they've whitened the whites of the eyes digitally, they've smoothed the skin digitally, and so consequently everyone has a sort of pristine quality that wasn't really like that. I mean, I'm not saying the style was good in the first film, the painted face and the black forehead and all that kind of stuff. But there's a feeling that they've modified this or without wishing to resurrect the whole Princess Kate, Princess of Wales fiasco, Photoshop fiasco. But they've photo massaged almost everyone in every shot. I'm feeling that distances me somewhat from the action and the believability of the action. And it means that in a sense, they're reaching for more extravagant stunts and actions and set pieces that aren't believable precisely because they've been created in CGI. Whereas I think the first film, there was a sort of believability. I have to say, the thing I do like about these films, and am I right in thinking they did this manually? Maybe they can't do it, it's too hard to do. But when they do that that thing where the camera comes up from the front of whatever vehicle, the fender of the vehicle, and then pushes through into the cockpit or the kind of, to the steering wheel, the driver, and it lands on just their eyes. That's a great movement. But I'm feeling sort of, the characters are sort of straight out of a computer game. The kind of chapters you get between sections in a PS4 game or something like that. I'm feeling they feel like moments from those chapters in a digital game. Like the moment with Chris Hemsworth with all the bullets falling on him. It's just not real. They should have gone for a real effect. It's kind of, they've been added on. It's not real. And so I found a lot of that stuff. I find all the plasticity of it a bit annoying and a bit disappointing, to be honest with you. And Chris Hemsworth has a hell of a job to not just trip into being Thor. I'm still going to see it. I think it's going to have huge energy and va-va-voom behind it. But I'm a little bit concerned. It just looks a bit too polished and a bit too streamlined. Am I wrong?